I had a midday sleep/nap around 11 in the morning. I intended to wake up around 2 p.m. I set an online alarm clock through my laptop as such, but I ended up waking up at 3:30 p.m. rather than 2 p.m. And and shortly after I woke up, Mom got back from getting her hair done, and she surprised me with a surprise trip to Wendy's. She figured I needed a little snack to tide me over until we went to the Knob, or north of the border, the name of a pub that was doing a karaoke night tonight, starting at 7 p.m., but we left at 5:45 p.m. and arrived at roughly 6 p.m. 6 p.m. That's why I had a large twist frosty and a spicy chicken sandwich for lunch. We were going to the Knob to celebrate one of Mom's friends' 50th birthday. However, because Mom's birthday was also pretty close to it, one of her friends also gave her this. At one point, it was demonstrated by another of her friends that it lights up. She had brought some, I believe they were AA batteries with her. And she then turned one of these on, and made it light up. You know, the lights are here. This is the styrofoam this came in. This is the cardboard packaging it came in. And I, of course, wanted to bring the styrofoam home because I draw on styrofoam with Sharpie markers. I brought the entirety of the Sharpie markers pretty much that I was given for Christmas. However, in spite of that, I didn't really have any brown Sharpie markers that weren't either an ultra fine Sharpie marker, and thus it would be frustrating, kind of futile to color the Styrofoam Man's drawings pants with it, since that sort of job isn't really suitable for an ultra-fine Sharpie marker. I had just one ultra-fine brown Sharpie marker, the rest were fine, but those fine brown Sharpie markers were somewhat dried out. So I had to take frequent breaks with them so they wouldn't dry out completely. As such, I couldn't really make much progress on the pants that I decided to color brown. Also, I decided to make the shirt have a somewhat complex design involving squares and lines compared to a design I've done before. A design I've done before, only I swapped out the hexagons for squares. The dark gray chisel Sharpie marker I used for some of the shirt had the opposite problem. It was wet enough that the ink would bleed into a bit into the lighter gray lines. So then I ended up having to cut bits of those lines off, as well as some blending with the lighter gray Sharpie marker in order to try to correct that. When I got there, me and Mom I didn't really feel like getting a slob or knob plate, so I instead got a bowl of the sausage tortellini soup, which I enjoyed quite a bit. It had a nice and savory taste, as most soups do, though it had a red meaty sort of taste due to the sausage, some of it, and the tortellini noodles were nice and tender. There was a 5 balloon right next to a 0 balloon. While I was there, I mostly worked on that styrofoam drawing. I got a total of 3 alcoholic drinks with a glass of water with ice coming with the third one. For the second drink, I just said I wanted something fruity and sour. And Mom got these with the Frosty she got me at Wendy's. I spent some of the time between getting up at 3:30 p.m. today and going to the knob, working on doing spire encounters in order to complete an earlier task set. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I did those spire encounters during the first hours of today. I'm currently on this in terms of the task sets. I recently got some task sets that required me to produce generally 33,000 basic, refined, or magical goods of my choice. I think at some point I'm going to establish another elixir manufactory, not only to help with should I get that task in future task sets, but also because I can trade elixir to get a lot of marble, planks, crystal, and silk from trading elixir. And after a wave of such intended trades I made, I think I should probably boost up my production of elixir. Oh wait, the magical goods are now called precious goods. This wasn't the cake at the birthday party. It was actually more of a twist or combined chocolate/vanilla cake with a sort of lemon flavored filling in the middle of the pieces, horizontally. As it was a birthday party, there were a lot of singers. So I only managed to do 2 songs. The first of which was I'm gonna Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow. That one was pretty much as soon as I got to the knob. And the other one, very late, more like around 10 p.m., was my staple, Suddenly Seymour by Ashman Howard, from the horror movie Little Shop of Horrors. In between those two songs, the Cake came out with a pretty much culturally mandatory singing of the Happy Birthday song. I had a total of about 3 pieces of cake, but those pieces weren't very big. A bag of classic Lay's potato chips, I would call the bag size family size, along with a bag of Smart Food white cheddar popcorn. I think I'm the reason those bags were even opened. Far as I could tell, nobody really touched those bags of either chips or popcorn. It was just one bag of the chips and one bag of the popcorn in total. And towards the end, I reached into both of those bags and ate handfuls of both the classic Lay's chips and the white cheddar Smart Food popcorn. If I recall correctly, that the Smart Food white cheddar popcorn was a staple during elementary school. My time in those grade levels. The other one being Andy's chips / fries. And for that one, it was always the spicy variety. The birthday girl, toward the end, and I am saying the very end, it told me I could bring the entire bag home. However, I didn't even ask about the classic Lay's potato chips because the birthday party is for someone else, not me. And it's not exactly appropriate to just take all the food, even if it's not being eaten. At least that's how it feels to me. Early on, Johnny got an order of pizza logs. I guess he intended to get those pizza logs for us, though, since he didn't touch them at all. I had one after about an hour of waiting for Johnny to eat his pizza logs. And before taking that one pizza log, I asked if I could have one. And I think Mom had one before I had the first one, and then later on I had the remaining two because I was afraid that if I waited too long, he would just end up throwing them away. At least that's the way I thought at the time. That's what prevented me from waiting longer. I'm currently here in terms of the Buried City event minigame. I'm currently here in regards to the Ancient Wonders. And I'm currently here in regards to the research technology tree. And I think there was also a point in which I completed a whole bunch of tournament encounters. This one was between me getting up and me and Mom driving off to the Knob for that birthday party / karaoke night event there. The birthday party was independent of the karaoke night. The thing is, those previous task sets, I don't think there was a point in which they really asked me to complete tournament encounters. Rather, they asked me to collect enchantment items such as these, mostly these three items. And I completed tournament encounters because if as a reward for completing a tournament encounter I got an enchantment item, one of these three, it would count toward the collect X enchantment items task, part of a task set. And that's why I did that. I believe there were points in which I ran out of, presumably, crystal, and ended up having to lose considerable amounts of scrolls in order to cater those tournament encounters, and thus collect the necessary number of enchantment items to complete earlier task sets. This is the enchantment I most commonly use. Yeah. Figured I couldn't really do that. I decided to try for some reason. Yeah, I'm only upgrading the workshop because I recently activated this research technology. A sorcerer-style workshop is the same size as a wood elf-style workshop, so in the grand scheme of things, it's no cost to me. In general, I had a pretty good time at the Knob tonight. It was nice interacting with Mom's friends. They gave me good compliments regarding my styrofoam artwork. That I'll try to keep in mind whenever I think I'm not quite doing the best I can on a styrofoam drawing project. Styrofoam pieces have these tiny little air holes. They tend to look a little different at different angles, the lighting at least, but those are just challenges to overcome. The third alcoholic drink I got was Deep Eddy Orange with pineapple juice mixed in. And I think the first one ended up being grape-flavored vodka with cranberry juice mixed in. And it was the third alcoholic drink that I decided to simultaneously get that and a glass of water with ice in it.